Big developments in the Middle East. Turkey has been pulled into the conflict for the first time, and the U.S. attacks have now reached waters near Sri Lanka. Here's what's happening and why it's shaking up the global markets. This is the first time that Turkey, a NATO country with one of the world's biggest military, has been directly involved in fighting. But the U.S. Defense Secretary PeteHegseth said there's no sign that this will trigger NATO's all-for-one defense. In a surprise move, USSubmarine attacked an Iranian ship near Sri Lanka, thousands of miles away from the Gulf. The strike comes as fighting has blocked shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, which is a key route for oil and gas, for 6 straight days in a row. President 47 promised military escorts for ships to keep key energy exports moving and limit price spikes. Still, around 200 tankers are stuck waiting off the coast, according to reports. The U.S. says it's winning, and Secretary Hegseth has described the war as not a fair fight, claiming the U.S. can keep this up as long as needed. Meanwhile, Iran seems to be running out of firepower and launching fewer missiles than before. Israel says its Air Force hit a major target in Tehran, a compound that includes Iran's top security, intelligence, and cyber units. The conflict sent stock markets tumbling, especially in Asia, where Seoul had its biggest crash on record. Markets in Europe improved later in hopes that the war will end soon. A New York Times report claims that the Iranian intelligence contacted the CIA about peace talks earlier in the conflict. But Iran called that story lies and psychological warfare. As explosions shook Tehran, funeral plans for the late Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, were suddenly postponed. His son, Mojtaba Khamenei, is now seen as the favorite to take over, signaling that hardliners may stay in power. Some Iranians quietly celebrated the leader's death after years of government crackdown, but many say they're too scared to protest now, with bombs falling and security forces everywhere. The U.S. military confirmed it has destroyed over 20 Iranian vessels, including one sunk off Sri Lanka, marking the first submarine torpedo strike of this kind since World War II. Dozens of sailors were rescued, but many are still missing. Despite the mixed feeling about war, Britain, France, and Greece have now moved their military forces closer to the region to protect their people and allies. Tensions rise as U.S. sinks Iranian ships near Sri Lanka. Could this war spread even further? What do you think comes next?